So this might not where you expected to see me after the last video I did on the ferry. But the reason why I'm sitting here at my desk at home is because there was so much stuff going on in Lillehammer that I was unable to get enough footage to make a proper video. The reason why was because it was a training camp. We have to keep that in mind. Like, my father has a job and I go to school, so we can't just drive for fun. We have to get the most out of it. And because of that, he was standing at the difficult parts of the track to capture footage, which my coach and I and the German national skeleton athlete who took with us to Lillehammer, we would analyze that in the afternoon to know what we would have to drive better the next day. But instead, I thought it would be an idea to sit down here at my computer and see all the videos which my father took, and then tell you what I think about it now, and what you can sort of, I guess, see in it without being an expert in the sliding events. So the first day I did not film anything at all, but the next day I did try to make an intro. But it was later that day I realized I could not make a video out of it. We had done one track walk, which is where you walk all the way from the top to the bottom of the track to know how you have to drive the curve. Yeah, we did that the first day and did a bit of driving, which we not filmed at all. The first day I did drive very bad, so I got a lot of skids down the track. I didn't really drive, it was all about surviving. So the goal for day 2 was to remember the curves and try to make it as smooth as possible. Unfortunately, that was not how it turned out. That was Felix. By the way, he's running for the 2022 Olympics in Beijing, so that is very exciting to follow him. But I guess this video is my 4th run down the track. And as you can see and hear, there is a sound, and that is because curve 12, which is the curve before this one, you go in, it's a big curve, it's a long curve, you go in from the right and then drive right, and you have to steal a lot in the start, but at the time I did not know that, so it was very shaky and not smooth at all. And then I went down too early from 12, you will see that later, and then I slide into 13. I can tell you that is not the fastest line down the track. And then I only drive 95 kilometers an hour at this part, so that is like the main reason why I don't hurt myself anything more on this run. I believe where it really starts to hurt on my shoulder, as you saw on my Instagram, make sure to follow me there. So as you saw right there, I obviously had no control. I'm coming in from 12 and doing those big waves, and in some curves that is the right thing to do, but in this one it's not. First of all, you drive too many unnecessary meters, and you make it so difficult for you to go down the straightaway without hitting any walls. And as you see, in the very end of 13, I get very high on the wall, and then I slam into the other wall on the other side, and then I got a very beaten shoulder. And actually, all the time I was driving skeleton, this was the main focus, not to hit that wall. And it wasn't until the second to last day I actually executed. Yeah, it's this one. This is from another angle. This is from 12 into 13. And the problem I have had is that when I drive, I get like this part right here. I'll be in the middle already and not hanging on the wall. This one I'm not doing it perfect at all, but it's better. And I'm a little late into 13, but I had got a better feeling of how to steer it around. And in this run I actually don't hit a wall over at 13. So I was showing some positive results, I guess. But I went up the track once again and then I hit my shoulder. So this track was definitely difficult for me. And we had one day left, but when I came down into goal, I took my phone and rang to my father and said I don't want to drive anymore, the tank is empty. Because I couldn't feel my shoulder, and every time I drove I knew it would hurt down in the bottom. We had one more option, and we knew we would use that, but we thought we had one more sliding option, and that is the monobob. We knew we was going to use that, but we did not know we would do that early. So we talked with people at the track, and my father know them from when he was driving, and they were like, of course you can rent a sled. So that's what we did. Here I'm just talking about why I decided to switch into the monobob. Talking about my legs, the outer part of my calves, and my shoulders hurting. So we got the permission to drive down the track, and I was nervous, but I wasn't really nervous. I was focused on the task, which was to go down the track. Not the best start time. A little slow, but I got down, got up, and my first reaction was that it was a different beast, and it sure was, because it's so much more heavy. You can, both on the skeleton, you are driving like the corrections you're making hits the sled like that, but in the monobob you have to drive before you are there yourself. The front of the sled is like the part where you have two runners and they go like this, and they are 2 meters in front of you, so you have to pull before you are there yourself. And the G's feel so much more strong in the monobob because you're sitting and not laying, and that is probably the main reason I think I say it's a different beast. So the second day I had slept, and I had thought of it, visualized how I would drive the next day. The thing that was different the second day of driving the monobob was that I actually got my own helmet. And this one is sponsored by a company in Vejle, which is also in Denmark. They also sponsored the helmets from my father's team, and he had given them a call, and they were like, sure, we will also like to sponsor a helmet for your kid. So I'm very thankful for that, and I appreciate that. Because safety first, it's no joke, and you can really hurt yourself if you are not driving with a helmet. And then this is just the same curve, 12-13 in the monobob. So you may wonder what all this nonsense is about. I mean, I have a YouTube channel and I mainly post track and field videos, and then once in a while some of these I've made a few videos about sliding sport. Like, I want to play with open cards. I am going to try to qualify for the Youth Olympic Winter Games in 2020 in Lausanne in Switzerland. Going to the Olympics just sounds crazy to me, and this sport, which I'm naturally built for as a decathlete, I guess it's almost like a magnet pulling me. I have a great setup. My father, with the knowledge in the sport, and the coaches and people he know, is that we have come to a conclusion that it is possible for me to qualify. But what I think is very important to keep in mind is that I don't push track away like that. Track is still my one and only, but the sliding sports are a side hobby, I guess you can say. In 3 days I'm going to Turkey on Easter training camp, and because of a tight Monday and Tuesday I'm already packing. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you in the next time.